Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
Welcome to the Edmonton Expo Centre. It's the Metro Athletic Division I Men's City Championships. Connor Toffin and Eric Fawcett on the call on this IC Live Procast. It's the Strathcona Lords against the St. FX Rams. Welcome everyone. A big game here in the Metro City Championships. Number 1 against number 7. Let's take a look at how either team got here. The Rams, dominant all year long, and that carried over into playoffs. 88-47 over Jasper Place, and then a 14-point win against Archbishop O'Leary. Always has a say here in the Edmonton area. O'Leary won 65-55 over Holy Trinity. On the other side of the bracket, Ainley dominant, 131 points over Leduc in round 1. Strathcona, a little bit of a tighter victory, 14 points above Ross Shep, and then 14 points in the win against Harry Ainley, 92-78, and that is what brings us here. So 14-point wins for both sides in their semifinal matchups. And Eric, it's really, once again, St. FX has only lost one game all year. They're 22-1. They are provincially ranked number 1. I think expectation was for them to be here. But expectation wasn't just to get here, it was probably for them to win, and there was a little bit of pressure on their shoulders today to finish what they set out to do on the season.
That's it, and you can see how the path for Strathcona was a little bit tougher. Had to go through some really difficult teams as the slightly lower seed, and it's amazing that they can make that run and get there. But also, there's something to be said about just the best team that's established themselves all year, getting all the way to the finals, and it is amazing to see St. FX, who's been so dominant, earn their way here to be probably the favorite to win tonight. And of course, last year won as well, won provincials as well. They have an absolutely dominant program there, led by head coach Brad Farish, who has just made them into a powerhouse here in Edmonton. And sporting one of the best players, if not the best players in the city, in guard Elijah Thomas. It's going to be a powerful St. FX Rams team out there, and it'll be really interesting to see how Strathcona, really smart team, really intelligent head coach in Dane Owen, see what plan they've had. These teams have already played each other a handful of times this season, and just exactly what they do. You know that they're going to come in with a plan.
St. FX winning all 3 of those matchups. Now, interesting on the other side, Strathcona, if you were to pick a team to maybe be able to pull off an upset, well, the Lords, they are battle tested. They've played the toughest schedule in the whole province. They're 23-8. All 8 losses have come against teams ranked in the top 15, and they've won 9. They've played 17 games ranked against top 15 teams, as you mentioned. They've played FX 3 times, have lost all 3, but the team's battle tested, to say the least, and we know that St. FX in a game like tonight is going to throw some big haymakers, some big punches. They are going to go on runs, but do you think if there was a team to maybe be able to overcome it, it is Strathcona, who has played so tough all year.
Yeah, Strathcona's not scared of anything. I mean, this is like a bit of a younger team. You'd maybe think, oh, maybe this is like a down year, development year. No, it doesn't matter. They went and played some of the toughest tournaments they possibly could in the fall and early winter. And yeah, they're going to take their losses. But, you know, I watched them play in those earlier months, and I might have thought this isn't a team that I'm going to be seeing in city finals. But because they were battle tested, because they got better, they came to the playoffs playing their best basketball, and you saw them roll through the playoffs and earn a berth here. So I've just been really impressed with them, their team-oriented style, the way that they defend, and the way that they're able to create three-pointers, which I think will be a big thing if they're able to stay in this game.
Defensively, ranking 5th in defensive rating in the province. As you mentioned, Eric, 33% from the three-point line this season. If there is a path to victory, a battle-tested team, strong defense, and maybe hit some threes? You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll be it. We see that at all kind of levels of the sport. If the team that's maybe favored to lose can use the three-point shot as a great equalizer, they'll probably need to do that. And Strathcona can really defend. They can really make things difficult on the other end of the floor. So if they can slow things down on that way, keep the score low, and then hope for some spurts from their shooters, that would be a great opportunity to make things happen. And you see that as announced there in the starting lineup, one of that players starts with Dollywall, someone who can absolutely light it up. I don't think I've ever seen him have an off-shooting game, so that is someone that needs to be watched from the perimeter.
Beautiful venue, too, here at the Edmonton Expo Centre. It's undergone some renovations over the years. We've seen in the women's game that it can provide some kind of off-putting sight lines to shooters, whether it be from mid-range, from beyond the three-point line, and from the free throw line as well. Just a bit of a different backdrop than the high school gyms that all these players are used to playing in. See if anyone's bothered by it. Kind of doubt it. Here between two very talented teams, Lords and Rams, coming right up.
We would like to respectfully acknowledge that this championship game is located on Treaty 6 land, traditional territories of the First Nations and Métis people. We'd like to acknowledge all of the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who have walked upon and acted as stewards of this land for centuries, as well as honor elders and keepers of all, both past and present. Please turn your attention to the video board for the Canadian flag and the playing of our national anthem.
Will it be a cap to a dominant St. Francis Xavier Rams season? 22-1, ranked number 1, expected to maybe win today's game, or will it be a Strathcona Lords upset? A city championship on the line here at the Edmonton Expo Centre. It's the SSA Game of the Week. Both teams with a lot of success in recent years. Who's going to add a championship? We are underway as the Rams will win the opening tip. Arciaga with it to open up. Quick look down to the post. Lords defense everywhere. They'll take it away and go on the fast break. Melnichuk. Spronk. Quick give and go with Lapierre. Lapierre driving to the left, goes towards the baseline. Bit of a tie-up and somehow fighting through contact. First bucket of the game for Tyler McGlisco.
Yeah, tough catch in traffic. Really good concentration to get that ball and make a finish. And a great finish on the other end. We saw it first possession as they tried to jam the ball into him in a high-low action. Much better angle here to enter it to him and a quick finish. So two teams getting it done on the inside on these early possessions.
Dollywall goes up, it's blocked. And now taken by Ryland Dirksen. Arciaga will move it over to Broder. This is Elijah Thomas. Expect to see a lot of him. Goes to Broder from the corner, around the world and out. And it is out of bounds off of a Lord. Here's a three, and it's in. Justice Arciaga.
Yeah, nice action on the baseline out of bounds. Almost a little bit of an elevator action. These tight stagger for the shooter to jump through created all kinds of space.
Melnichuk with the mid-range jumper. Finds the bottom of the net. Elijah Thomas, leader of this Rams team. Pick and roll action. Thomas to the corner. A no-look pass, and it's in. Beautiful bucket. Ryland Dirksen set up by Thomas.
Great recognition from Thomas. They run that Spanish ball screen in the middle third. That means there can't really be any help off the corners. Elijah Thomas does see that there's a little bit of help on the corners. He makes the easy read, doesn't do too much, and it's a wide open three.
Rams offense making an impact early. Dollywall pulls it from deep. Lots of contact down low. No whistle though. Refs letting them play early. Broder to the corner. Another shot, and this one a miss for Dirksen. Down low, in contact. I believe that's Kasprik. It is confirming. Had him listed as number 12, but wearing number 13. Euro step in the lane through traffic. A foul is drawn. Lapierre will go to the line for two. As we've seen in the women's game, we talked about the sight lines and the vision of shooters a little bit different here, Eric. We saw a lot of 1-for-2s.
Yeah, the two places you're really going to see the challenges in shooting in this pro arena are right here, the free throw line. We'll see how this first one goes. It's going to be short. Yep. And just as I predicted. And because the backdrop is just so much further than what these players are used to in high school gyms. And this one hoop that we're shooting on right now with the curtain, 30 yards back of the hoop is really difficult. And then it's very different on the other side. So it is a challenge. So we'll see the challenge there as well as when it comes to shooting the corner three, where some of these really bright lights can get into players' faces and make them lose vision of the rim. So that's a little bit of my knowledge here from coaching with the Edmonton Stingers.
McGlisco. Transition stopped by Dirksen. Here's a three. It'll rim out. Melnichuk was decisive. Couldn't quite find the net. Here's a shot for Elijah Thomas. Won't go. Offensive rebound for the Rams, and it's in. That's Dirksen. Did it from outside earlier. Gets the job done down low there.
Yeah, Thomas is such a threat from deep, and he can pull whenever he wants because he's also got those two bigs in the front court that can get his misses. So just like the way the roster is constructed is perfect for such a talented guard who's also got all the scores around him. And that's another really nice finish on the baseline there for Maglishko.
Wasn't a lot of room. Kind of tightrope that baseline, made himself skinny. Found a way through for the bucket. It's been a bit of a blitz on offense so far for the Rams. Here's a three from Broder in the corner. Oh boy, physical fight for the rebound. That's going to be a foul against McGlisco, Dirksen rather, who threw McGlisco to the ground.
Yeah, it looks like kind of both arms got locked up of both players. Weren't quite sure who that one was going to be called on.
Melnichuk will bring it up court. Brodeur with some pressure. Sprunk will pull it from mid-range off the backboard, but an offensive rebound for McGlisco. He gets fouled. I believe it will be on the floor here.
Yeah, what a start from McGlisco.
Yeah, he is everywhere right now on both ends.
Couple really nice finishes on the baseline. Gets an offensive rebound, and he's going to have to really play big, because those front court players of St. FX can have a big impact with their rebounding.
McGlisco down low right now. Looks like he might have a bit of a mismatch if it's going to be Elijah Thomas, about a foot smaller, guarding him. There's a shot from the outside. They'll say it did hit the rim, and it's out off of a ram.
Sometimes in those late clock situations, I mean, it's just tough just to get the ball in the hoop.
McGlisco is also limping a little bit here. Sorry, also everyone fighting through something at this point of the year. Looks fine with the ball in his hands. In the post, backing down Thomas. Little bit of contact. As we said, they have been letting them play so far. There is a chance going the other way for Lucas Thomas. Melnichuk will run point. Lots of pressure again from Brodeur. Melnichuk up with the right.
Yeah, tough finish. Joel Brodeur can really guard on the ball, and to be able to handle that pressure, turn him a couple of times, and go and make a tough finish is big.
Thomas tried the right. Fouled. You know, when you see ball-dominant players and volume scorers, we've seen Thomas miss a couple shots so far. A little bit of extra defensive attention will usually be given, but oftentimes it's when the game starts to go along in the third, fourth quarter, the minutes start to matter a little more. Eric, that's sometimes when an Elijah Thomas can really come to life.
Yeah, I don't mind the shots he's missed so far. He came up and shot a transition 3 when they had numbers. We missed it, but they had numbers, so he got the offensive rebound. Here, I kind of really liked he had that, was going to set a dribble handoff and then faked it, kept to the rim. Probably could have gone with something other than the underhand floater, but, still, again, offensive rebound, got everyone moving. And the other thing with Elijah Thomas is, like, he's won everything. Like last year, they won cities, they won provincials. He went and played with Team Alberta with head coach Brad Farish, who was a assistant. They won, and of course, whenever Alberta can go and beat all the other provinces from out east, that's really big for Alberta. And Elijah Thomas was a key role in all of that, and I think that that's something about all winning players is they can start slow, but they're going to finish strong. And I'm still kind of waiting for the Elijah Thomas show to start, but I think it's coming. I think it's coming.
5:03 and hasn't really impacted the Rams too much. Still up by 5 early. They've been aggressive, very decisive in their shot taking as well. We didn't really talk about it off the top of today's show, or tonight's rather, in the men's game here, but there can be nerves off the top in a game like this. Once again, kind of feels like we just haven't really gotten that. Both teams getting going right away, and as you mentioned, another one short on the first free throw. That is the pattern that we have seen today on both ends of the floor. Free throw 1 has been short, and we'll see if Kasprick can follow the pattern on free throw 2. That is me avoiding any chance at a commentator's jinx, by the way. I'm a veteran of this.
No, I could have guessed. Both free throws on both sides would be missed short, and when they have to go to the other end in the second half, it's going to be tough too adjusting. And that's who I said was the shooter for Strathcona to be aware of. Dollywall has just, like I said, it doesn't matter what game I see him in, what opponent, he never has an off night. Every time I've ever watched him shoot, he's had a great shooting game. So it looks like that's going to continue.
Great pass into the post from Lucas Thomas.
Yeah, I love that from St. FX. They set that little cross screen and then pin the defender during the screening action. It's really tough to guard that cross screen while staying on the right side of your man, and so it was a designed post pin play for St. FX that I thought was really savvy.
Dollywall stops his dribble. Quick swing pass. Here's a 3 for the Lords. It's in. Melnichuk.
Yeah, that's great offense, too, on that skip to not try to take the first one, not immediately punch it. Soon as the skip came, Hayden Sprunks just swung it immediately, got it, trade up a decent shot for a better one. It's really good offense. And two teams that are playing pretty well. You said before that no one seems to be too nervous or anything like that. Look at high IQ plays like that. Drive baseline, send the help, dump it off. Both of these teams are playing at a high level.
Lucas Thomas, 2 straight assists. That time he found Kasprick. First time was to Eli Johnson. Risky post pass, post entry rather. It's taken away by Tesfalassi. And it'll be a foul on the other end. Eli Johnson driving the lane.
Yeah, you still see this so much at the high school level, but it's just so difficult when you're in that middle third, you're in the tunnel, to try to throw those entry passes, lob them over the top into post players. You're much better served to get that ball to the sideline, move it to the outer third, enter it from there. Thinking about that post spin play I was just talking about for St. FX, moved the defense, got it to the outer third, threw it from there. It's just so much easier than trying to throw that really long high-low pass.
Unofficial, but just by my count, that's the 3rd trip to the free throw line. 3rd time they've missed one, made the 2nd. Going the other way is Lucas Thomas.
And almost got absolutely pinned on the glass by Hayden Spronk. There was a little bit of athleticism. I think he really wanted that one after turning the ball over.
Spronk with the 3 won't go. And Lucas Thomas beats Belogan. Much bigger player Belogan is, but Thomas had that one. Here's Elijah Thomas. Won't go. Dhaliwal. A little bit of a pick and roll. And now we'll give it to Melnichuk.
Yeah, he got the switch on Elijah Thomas inside. They don't go to it.
Melnichuk mid-range jumper, don't go. Elijah Thomas going to take it himself. Bit of an opening.
Yeah, you see that head fake, that hesitation. Got his defender's feet in cement. A little bit of gamesmanship, a little bit of a savvy finish there. And that's where Thomas is so good.
Rams on a short run here. Extending the lead to 9. Loose ball, tie up. And possession arrow will stay with the Lords.
So one thing about St. FX, I mean, again, one of the best, or perhaps the best team in the province, one of them at least, they're not the most physically imposing. They have a lot of smaller guards. They really start 3 guards, 5'10" or under, and they're really switching everything. And right now, Strathcona isn't really looking on the inside. They're not really looking to punish those switches. And when you're not looking to punish switches or you're unable to, it just becomes a lot easier for St. FX to be like, oh, hey, we'll switch. If you got 6'5" on our 5'8" and you're not doing anything about it, sure, we'll just keep doing it. And that's what we're seeing on the defensive end so far from St. FX. And it's obviously working brilliantly for them. If I'm Strathcona, I'm thinking about a way we can start to take advantage of some of that size mismatch.
Thomas fighting down low for the rebound. Tesfasalasi outside. Thomas again with it. A little bit of a turnaround. Won't go. Foul against the Rams. Possession will stay with the Lords.
Just curious if they get Broder or Elijah Thomas on that one. They did call it on Thomas.
Of course, always want to watch those. That's just Thomas's first. He'll go to the bench and take a breather. Melnichuk goes to McGlisco. Had a strong start to this game, but a turnover here. Lucas Thomas over to Tesfalassi. No basket, fouls on the floor. Tesfasalasi, sorry. Foul is against the Lords. It'll be Gadaretsi. This Rams offense, just a bit of an onslaught here in the first quarter. 24 points. Not even through 9 minutes yet. Lucas Thomas stops his dribble, goes to Broder. Broder, contested 3 is in.
Hand in his face, he'll take it however it comes. Tough angle to put it in off the glass, but that's what happens. In another turnover right about the exact same spot. First it was Lucas Thomas getting that steal. This time Tesfasalasi.
Tesfasalasi. Bit of a I was practicing that one a little bit before the game.
Yeah, I struggled through that one. Next one will be better, promise.
One goes out of bounds. Possession will stay with the Lords. Tesfasalasi there, by the way, pretty disciplined just to go with the layup. Seen a player earlier in the game before the women's game we just did go up for a dunk and miss. You know, whenever you're in a championship game, you never want to take any points for granted. Make the layup. Make sure you get the two. Melnichuk will go to the free throw line.
At the line, shooting for the Lords, number 10, Daniel Melnichuk.
31.3 to go in the first quarter.
Should note that St. FX really kind of prides themselves first, second, and third on the defensive end. That's really where their identity is. 29 points here in the first quarter. The offense is looking pretty good right now, too.
Lucas Thomas has been a big part of it. Draws an extra defender. Throws up a bit of a lob. Was looking for Sevilla.
Yeah, Sevilla's ready for the offensive glass, which I would have probably expected. Most players are probably shooting that floater there.
Lords hoping for last possession. Want to cut the lead to 9 or 10. Melnichuk got blocked. It'll be a full court heave, and it is left short, but a good first quarter for the Rams, up 29-17. It was a little bit of Elijah Thomas, Eric, but overall it was everybody pitching in. Brodeur with some threes, Lucas Thomas with some nice passing plays as well. Dirksen had some threes, Kasprick all over the place as well. Tough to beat a team like the Rams when it's a whole unit working together.
Oh yeah,
right now.
Just to score 29 in a quarter without your kind of star pushing the way. I mean, it speaks to how good, as much as I love to talk about Elijah Thomas and all that, but the fact that they do just have a deep team, they're able to score on the inside with those forwards, those guards that really are so good defensively, also chipping in on the offensive end. It's been a really good quarter for St. FX.
Rams up by 12 heading into our first break.
Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
We're going to stay right here. Welcome back for the second quarter. Do want to take a moment to thank the Sport, Physical Activity and Recreation branch of the Ministry of Tourism and Sport with the Government of Alberta, who's a funding provider to the SSA. The funds received from this area of the government are put towards enhancing the quality of life for Albertans. Here's a three-point chance for the Rams. Rebounded by McGlisco, fighting for it. Rams get it back. Not a lot of room to work, and a smart play. They throw it off McGlisco. That was Eli Johnson with the diving play in the corner.
Just incredible work. He's first on the floor to poke away the ball, then he dives a second time, gets it. Can't believe he didn't touch out of bounds at any point. Then earns his team a possession by throwing it off the leg of his opponent. That's championship winning play right there.
Strong move down low, but the layup won't go for Dirksen. Here's a long three for Brodeur, short. Dirksen gets the rebound, goes up with it again. 3 or 4 chances for the Rams. Dirksen gets the first bucket of the second quarter. They try to go down low to McGlisco. That one's off the hands and out. I think the Lords would have at least wanted to keep it close early in this game. Broder with the cut.
Nice design back door.
Rams offense working as a perfect unit so far. Baseline cut goes off the Lords. They were looking for Okole.
Substitution entering the game for the Strathcona Lords, number 13, Pravashan Dhaliwal.
Dhaliwal will check back into the game for the Lords. Elijah Thomas looking for Johnson. Johnson got quickly doubled down low into the post. Another bucket for Dirksen. Lords got to get something going on offense. In the half court, they played a bit of a methodical pace. They'd love a 3 here. Won't go. That was Gadaretsi. Thomas, Broder again. Nice find by Thomas. He gets the rebound as well. Thomas up to Broder. Boy, it looked like he wanted it for a moment. Elijah Thomas again. Playing some iso ball. Goes to the hoop. Won't go. Dhaliwal and Thomas tied up, and they will call a jump ball possession to the Lords.
Yeah, pretty good job by Strathcona. Ben did not break on that possession. Got scrambled a little bit, but get the ball back on the jump, and you got to think they got to get something going here quick.
McGlisco down low got fouled. Go to the line.
I like the action. Again, I was talking about how easy it was for St. FX to switch everything because they weren't getting punished on it. Now, here Arciega gets switched onto McGlisco. Big size mismatch, and it turns into a foul.
Timeout called by the Lords. Eric, so much harder as well to get the offense going when the other team is scoring so much. There hasn't really been a lot of chances in transition for the Lords today. Even if you don't even get a shot on transition, it takes a little bit of extra time for the defense to get set. It has been a struggle today in the half court for the Lords.
Yeah, I'm looking every time they can get Dhaliwal on the floor, looking for someone who can get hot in a hurry, hit those three-point looks. Especially now as this lead for St. FX starts to increase. How they can try to get back in the game is probably going to need to be through the three-point shot.
It feels, even though it's early in this game still, relatively, second quarter, 7:32 to go, it kind of feels like we're at a tipping point here. If we get a run from the Lords, okay, we might have a tight basketball game here, but if the Rams keep running like they are, you can only get so far behind on the Rams and still have a chance to come back. If you get down 20, 30 plus points, defensively, they're not going to let much up, as we know. And if the offense is something like they are right now, not much you can do.
Yeah, St. FX can be very difficult to play against with their defense, all the ball pressure from the guards. So tough team to play catch up against.
So it is McGlisco at the line for 2. That one will rattle in. McGlisco at the line. By no means, though, especially in modern basketball, the three-point shot, not out of it. McGlisco looking to go 2 for 2. Second one was long, but Dhaliwal pulls down the rebound to the corner. Quick trigger, Sprunk won't go. Lassie will leave it for Lucas Thomas. Now Elijah Thomas. Lassie. Spin up high, loses the dribble. Overhand pass, and the three is made by Dirksen. Thomas will bring it up court. Vasilasi to the corner. Here's Elijah Thomas from the corner. Another three for the Rams.
Yeah, great action to get him open on that baseline runner action. Now he might get another easy one.
Breakaway and another two. It is 43-18 for the Rams. Dollywall. Quick pull from Melnichuk. And that lid is just on that Rams basket right now. Lords can't get into a rhythm. Vasilasi. Thomas now in the corner. Lucas Thomas, the three. Almost a surprise when it doesn't go right now for the Rams.
Things really starting to kind of feel a little tight for Strathcona offensively. They're not getting out of their cuts very quickly. They're not really setting screens with any conviction. You can kind of see that they're losing confidence in their ability here. Those are usually the first things to slide.
Substitution entering the game for the Rams, number 10, Clyde Mbachi.
Seven seconds here on the shot clock. They're going to have a quick hitter in there. Gets called from the bench from Brad Farish. Got to get something quick.
Thomas with the three. Seems like it doesn't even matter at this point. Shots are falling. Deep three for Thomas. Dollywall. Long three, responds with one of his own. By the way, apologies. I believe we have some errors on the rosters that we were given. So if we have been calling out improper names for the Rams, we do apologize. We are working on getting that sorted right now as that one goes out of bounds.
Yeah, remarkable how several of us can, just read exactly what's put in front of us, even if I knew a little bit better from watching these teams play earlier in the season. But we'll get that sorted here moving forward. We'll see what Strathcona can generate here. Saw Dollywall three on the last one.
Lucas Thomas goes up with the right, rebounded by the Rams. Elijah Thomas. Bleeding some clock. Stops his dribble. Down low. Another good look for the Rams. Offensive rebound. And a foul called against the Lords.
Yeah, you saw the switch there. Meant that there was a small on a big, and then on the first attempt, two people committed to go and contest that jumper. You can see both players contesting it. No one's there to box out Mbachu. He's able to get an offensive rebound and finish, or get fouled, I should say.
So once again, apologies. This is number 10, Clyde Mbachu. Rebounded by Eli Johnson.
Strong take by Spronk there. He's probably looking to draw some contact, but you love to see those kind of downhill drives, even if it wasn't rewarded immediately. Spronk's going to need a sub. Took some pretty heavy contact to the rib area there.
Number 15, Shane Nicolai. And number 3, Caleb Lapierre.
Taken away by the Lords. Melnichuk. Step back 2 goes. Pretty shot from Daniel Melnichuk.
And I love Brad Farish, coach for St. FX. Quick timeout. Obviously looks in somewhat of a comfortable position here, doubling up Strathcona, but still he sees something he doesn't like with the defense. It's a quick timeout, just kind of taking away any chance of momentum for Strathcona to build.
Rams call timeout, as you mentioned, so 3.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Another pretty fast-paced game. For the Lords right now defensively, you know, it always feels like coming into a game where you're playing someone like Elijah Thomas, you always have to put a little bit of extra emphasis on stopping him, but with the total team effort we've seen from the Rams so far, are there any adjustments that the Lords can make defensively?
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of over-helping, and you've seen that it kind of worked for them at times on some of the drives. They were able to stunt down and make for some early kickouts, but there's also a lot of times where they've gotten themselves out of position when it comes to rebounding, and it feels like some of those kind of second shot, second side opportunities where St. FX has been really good. I don't feel like there's actually been a ton of breakdowns for Strathcona. They haven't done a lot wrong on the defensive end. It just seems like every time there is a mistake, every time there's a left shooter, that three is falling. Every time that they've turned it over in transition, layup on the other end, and those problems really just compounding on them. But really interested to see what head coach Dane Owen does here, just trying to get his team show some signs of life in either way, whether it's a spark offensively or it's going to be something slowing down. St. FX needs a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but you can't solve it all in one timeout. You just need something to go your way. See if you can turn this 23-point deficit. You know, can you get that down to 14 or 15 by half? That's great. Then you can battle back from there. A lot of game left.
Lucas Thomas has facilitated so much of it. That's Vasilasi. Down low, it's taken away by McGlisco. Quick transition offense. Rebounded by Eli Johnson, but stepped on the baseline. Out of bounds.
Substitution entering the game for the Rams, number 1, Joel Brodeur.
Lapierre will go up top and leave it for Melnichuk. Melnichuk working one-on-one. Step back, long two, won't go. Rebounded by Mbachu.
That's a little bit of the story for Strathcona offensively right now. It just turned into a one-on-one game. Tough step back, mid-range jumper, and tough to make your way back into the game with that kind of shot quality.
Thomas goes up with the left. Defended well by Okole. Lapierre. From the wing, Okole. Shot clock down to single digits. Zhang down to the corner, now from the wing, three, no.
Good ball movement there from Strathcona. Ended up with a good shot, but just couldn't fall. But we talked about it earlier, they can make shots, they can make threes, and if they can continue to get that kind of shot quality, they might be able to get back into this one.
Shot clock down low again, contested, corner three from Thomas. That one goes short. Loose ball. Near half court, players all tied up, but Thomas gonna take it himself. He doesn't miss those.
just that kind of game so far for Strathcona. Sort of broken play, maybe a little bit of a dead spot in the floor, and off a foot, and it goes right to St. FX. And now we see a travel just over second, and certainly a good use of a second timeout here for Dane Owen and Strathcona. Just trying to keep this one somewhat in touch. See
Talk
that?
about
Just an unfortunate play.
Talk about a player like Elijah Thomas, and it feels like every year Edmonton is producing one of these top-tier talents now, and across all of Alberta, a lot more coming out. And basketball is a sport, even compared to what it was 10, 15 years ago. Not that Alberta's ever been bad at basketball. It's always been a good sport in Alberta. But it feels like we're stronger than ever, and that growth feels like it's not going to stop anytime soon, does it?
Yeah, let's hope not. It's great to see, and I think you, when you see programs like this, you see coaches like Brad Farish, you can see Dane Owen, guys who both obviously coach really, really good high school programs here that have built really consistent winners, but they're both also, running programs in the city for guys in the spring and summer to play in their club programs. So I really think that's what's cool about a game like this, too. Head coaches that are doing so much for the basketball community in Edmonton, and it's these guys that are getting the opportunities to play in the spring and summer in addition to their school ball that improves the quality of play and gets you to this point where the action right now in a city's finals game is as good as it's ever been.
Rams will have a chance on this possession across 50 in the first half alone. Backdoor cut by Lucas Thomas. Couldn't find him, though. Intercepted by the Lords. Spronk will go up top to Okole. Suffocating defense from the Rams. They are 7-8 feet behind the three-point line right now. Now they'll go down to McGlisco. Shot clock down to single digits to the corner. Bit of an opening to shoot. And Zhang couldn't find the bottom.
Yeah, this can't be any fun for Strathcona. I mean, St. FX so good within their man defense, and now they've been coming out in the zone recently, trapping, like you said, really stretching out their pressure on the defense end and then going bang a corner three on the other end.
Eli Johnson with the three. He had a good first quarter. Thomas with another steal. 2-on-1 fast break. Lob over to Thomas. Alley-oop.
Two brothers hooking up there. The younger Lucas Thomas, already an incredible player, and yeah, he's going to be something special by the time his high school career is done.
Some help came through, but McGlisco will put it in anyways, and one. Chance for a three-point play here for Strathcona.
I'm impressed with McGlisco. He's fighting. He's battling out there. He's making everything happen for his team, doing whatever he can, and again, just trying to keep it within touch here. I mean, it's talked about maybe Strathcona being able to cut down the lead here at half. That hasn't quite been the case, but you just got to stop the bleeding whenever possible and hope that your three-point shots start to fall, go on a little bit of a run, get back into this.
McGlisco converts the and one. Rams will have a chance now for last possession. 13 seconds to go in the first half. It has been all Rams. Over and back is the call there, though. Elijah Thomas doesn't like it.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that the one thing about Strathcona, at least so far, is they haven't had any of the full court pressure, kind of the pressing, trapping that you might need to get back into the game. But just within their man defense, they're really good pressure, forces an errant pass.
Okole. Time running out for the Lords. 2 seconds left. They got to put it up. Won't go. It was contested by Sevilla. It is 53-26 for the St. Francis Xavier Rams over the Strathcona Lords here in the Division I Men's Metro City Championships. Eric, just domination. I mean, we've talked about it all first half, but if you're Strathcona at this point, all you can do is look forward to the second half. And for Dane Owen, their head coach, what's the message in the locker room right now?
Yeah, I think you're just trying to keep some composure here. I don't really feel like anything went incredibly wrong for Strathcona. I don't feel like they did anything super poorly. there's just not enough crispness offensively with them getting through their actions, getting through their cuts. They're not quite making shots at their regular rate. They're, guarding okay off the dribble, but not great. But just every single mistake that they have made in that first half was points on the other end. The points off turnovers, the missed rotations that turn into wide open. It just, when you're playing a team that has a number 1 next to their name, those teams are the ones that make you pay. Every mistake is amplified, and that's kind of what this first half looks like. To me, it didn't exactly feel like a half where one team was 27 points better. But that kind of just speaks to how overwhelming St. FX can be, where it didn't look ugly, but you just look up and it's like, oh my goodness, this game is starting to look a little lopsided.
Big lead for the Rams, hoping they're 20 minutes away from a Metro City championship.
Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
Welcome back to the Edmonton Expo Centre. 53-26 for the St. FX Rams, hoping they're 20 minutes away from a Metro City Division 1 championship. Connor Toffin and Eric Fawcett on the call on this IC Live Procast. SSA Game of the Week. And we do want to make one last apology. We were calling out a couple of the names wrong through some of the first half. So I believe we were calling Clyde Mbachu as Eli Johnson. Mbachu wearing number 10. Eli Johnson we were calling as Rylan Dirksen. Johnson is number 11. Dirksen number 12. And Kasprick number 13. So one last apology on that.
Particularly both those players having their names called a couple of times because they played great in the first half. Really pushing things towards this lopsided St. FX lead we're seeing so far. And as we try to get things sorted, we're a little ways away from the table here to know exactly what's going on, but so we're trying to get something sorted here as players are already on the court. Pretty interesting, but there's some smiles, there's laughter, and hopefully we are good to go.
Brad Farish and St. Francis Xavier came rolling into this game. Lords kept it tight through the first few minutes, and then the Rams just never stopped while there's been a bit of a lid on the basket for the Lords so far. They've had some open shots, just haven't found the net. Here's a shot for Johnson, rattles out. Went about halfway down. Spronk will take it up for the Lords. Spronk stops at the free throw line, goes to the corner. Here's a shot for Melnichuk.
That's the ideal start here for Strathcona. Get a good stop on the defensive end, create a wide open corner three, get a little bit of that energy, a little bit of that confidence from one falling. It's a great start for Strathcona. We'll see if they can build on it.
Kasprick responds with a 2.
Yeah, really nice relocation there on the drive. Found that kind of soft spot in that dunker area. Earned himself an easy layup because of it.
McGlisco spinning in the post, won't go. Arciaga will give it to Kasprick. Elijah Thomas back up top to Arciaga. This is Broder. Broder down to the corner, open 3, won't go. Rebounded by Kasprick. Players all around. Dallowal poked it out. And McGlisco will give it away to Spronk, who takes it up for the Lords. Goes to Dallowal, pass misses. Dallowal fighting, gets it right back, driving. Doesn't make the layup, but he will draw a foul. Dallowal to the line for 2.
Looked like a pretty good contest there. Pretty straight up, but also like to see that from Dallowal, more of a shooter.
They're calling it on the floor.
That perhaps confuses me a little bit more, but perhaps I missed something. Let's see if we can get another 3-point look here for Skona. They can.
Quick trigger from the corner, won't go. Thomas, over to Lucas Thomas. Lucas puts it up with the right, too strong. Rebound by Kasprick. Kasprick has been so strong on the glass, maybe a little bit unheralded in this game, but good glue guy, good on the glass.
Yeah, and that is where with these guards that can really shoot, really score, having these two forwards inside, they're just so good on the glass. To see Dallowal took a smart foul there. I like that. They scored on that elevator baseline out of bounds earlier, and with all the attention on the shooter, they go to the opposite side and kind of sneak back door. Nice little counter. Didn't score, but I liked it.
Lapierre driving, heavily contested layup. Lapierre now from the corner for 3. It goes.
On those broken plays, it can be tough to find 3-point shooters. Good relocation there from Lapierre.
It would take a bit of a miracle for the Lords to come back in this game, but so far through 2.5 minutes, outscoring St. FX 6-2.
Yeah, and that's everything. You're obviously not going to give up. You're not going to come back. There's no 27-point shot. I think you're just constantly thinking, okay, Can we get to the under 4 here with cutting it down to 20? Then at the quarter break, can it be down to 17? Then halfway through the quarter, just taking it into small chunks, but getting turnovers and letting Elijah Thomas do what he does so well and finish through these lengthy steps. That's not going to help.
That's the third time this game by my count that Elijah Thomas has forced a turnover at half court. Another easy bucket for the Rams. From the corner, Melnichuk, it's in.
Great recognition there from Dhaliwal on the skip. And then creates that wide open look, and that's got to be the recipe for Strathcona. As long as they can create quality three-point looks, they don't need to force them up. They don't need to step back off the dribble threes, but with these nice high percentage catch and shoot looks, that's what they need to get back into this.
Elijah Thomas off the back of the rim. Brodeur, now Kasprick for 3. Offensive rebounding has been a big difference in this game for the Rams. Another one there, another converted three-pointer, a foul on the floor. First one of the quarter against the Rams.
Foul called on Rams number 13, Kasprick, third personal foul.
Hand off to Lapierre off the inbound. We'll go to Spronk. Spronk needs to find a shot quick, working against Elijah Thomas. Up top, they find a 3. Lapierre, it goes.
Yeah, I'm really liking what we're seeing offensively from Strathcona in the second half. Getting these dribble penetrations, controlled jump stop, reverse, find wide open shooters. They're creating really good opportunities, and this is the kind of stuff that when they've had success this year that they've been doing.
From Bachu up top goes to Eli Johnson. Elijah Thomas in the corner, short. Spronk with the rebound. Spronk lost it and is taken by Lucas Thomas. Numbers coming up court for the Rams. Thomas, alley-oop over to Mbachu. Second half's been a lot better for the Lords, but it's been those turnovers and the offensive rebounds that have gone the Rams' way. Another turnover here. Tesfasalasi. Eli Johnson to the hoop. That got tipped by McGlisco. And Elijah Thomas will slow things down. This is a big advantage for the Rams. Obviously, they got the 24-point lead. They can afford to slow their offense down, use some clock. They might not need to score a bunch more in this game. There's a shot. It's in for Eli Johnson.
Now, when you can use the full shot clock like that and still finish the possession with the layup, that's the way that you go without relinquishing a lead. Like that, that's just winning basketball 101.
Big block from Tesfasalasi. Whistle blown. At the same time, though, and looks like he'll pick up the foul.
Foul's gone against Rams number 4, Caleb Tesfasalasi.
Looks like we're getting a timeout here from Dano. And again, I always love this from coaches. I feel so many really just hold on to their timeouts till late in the game, just kind of hoping they'll have that situation where they need to draw up the miracle half court or bring the ball up full court or based on out of bounds play. And it's just like, when you're down by as much as Strathcona currently is, I mean, what's the sense in wasting your timeouts? You got to use them right now to stop momentum when needed, build your own momentum when needed.
It's funny, we in basketball specifically, obviously, fourth quarter when it matters most, tight game, but yet 2 points in the first quarter, same thing as 2 points with a minute left, right? Talked about the growth of basketball in Alberta, and really at the forefront of it has been these two teams. FX with only one loss this season. Strathcona, really tough schedule, 23-8. Highly successful through recent years. Strathcona winning provincial gold and a bronze within their last 4 years. FX won gold last year and a silver in the year before that. Provincially, both of these teams have had a say in recent years. And there's kind of a cycle. And I like that about basketball. It feels like your top teams like these will be facing off in the end, but it feels like there's a bit of a cycle. One team might be a little better this year. They lose a player or two. Another team kind of comes up the next year. It's not consistent domination like you sometimes see at the high school level.
I do think that, too, though, just talking with that recent success of St. FX going into this year where they're the #1 team, might win a city championship tonight and will be, favored to go very deep in provincials. I mean, to have that kind of consistency over 3 years, the high school level, when you're not, this isn't college where you're recruiting guys, you can kind of rebuild that way. And you're seeing that. I mean, some of the traditional powers of high school basketball in Edmonton, and I'm talking, traditional even going back, 10, 20, 30 years, haven't had that success over the last, several years. And what Brad Farish has done at St. FX, even what Dane Owen has done at Strathcona here. I thought this was going to be a down year for Strathcona. They're here in a city finals game. I mean, consistency is the hardest thing to do in sports, hardest thing to do as a coach, and both these guys have done it.
Lucas Thomas misses a 3. Lapierre up with the right, takes tons of contact. We'll go to the line for 2. So much of the success of these senior teams as well. We can look back at the junior teams. And the development that goes into it. A lot of these teams do have some grade 10 guys. Only 2 for the Rams. That is Lucas Thomas and Arseny Kasprik, both of whom have had a pretty big impact on this game. So when you look at 2 grade 10s, Lucas Thomas and Arseny Kasprik, that have looked as good as they have tonight, I don't think the Rams are going away anytime soon.
No, great note, especially Kasprik. Already with great size, great frame. Like, imagining those guys even playing in a junior game would be something. They're up here playing key roles here in the championship game.
And we'll continue into provincials for the Rams.
Yeah, McGlisco is just trying to will his team back into it. Doesn't matter the score. He's been making things happen.
Elijah Thomas. Well, no contested layup, and we got a whistle on the floor. It'll be a foul against the Colite.
Second personal foul.
And it'll be Eli Johnson to the line for 2. Talked about it earlier in the women's games as well. We got Massey rating in our notes today. And, basketball's grown on the court in terms of play, but it's grown off the court in Alberta basketball as well. I've never seen a Massey rating at the high school level before in games that I've called. And, there's growth happening everywhere. There's growth happening in terms of coaching, obviously the players. More games are streamed now, like we do here at IC Live. That goes into it.
Yeah, Massey, a ranking that used to be used, same as RPI, which we were also given. Numbers that used to be used with the NCAA in terms of seeding and selection for the NCAA tournament. And that was not a thing when I was coaching high school basketball in Edmonton. And all I'm thinking about is how I would have been able to make some pretty good cases for the seeding of my teams if I had those numbers at my disposal. But that's also what you need if you're going to level up and you want, as a province to seed and select teams more accurately, bring in some of that advanced data. Great way to do it, and just to see that those numbers are available. Some of the advanced stats we were given for the women's game, particularly with Coach Kyle Palmer and Strathcona, really helps paint a picture of what these teams are doing. So really love to see that, and it shows the level of professionalism, the overall quality. And like you mentioned too, thinking even, in past when I coached high school in Edmonton, to think of where we're at now with a professional broadcast. We're playing in a professional gym here. These guys getting an incredible experience to play at the Expo Centre. Great to see where high school basketball is in Alberta.
One of the other big differences you'll see from 10 years ago is if you look along the baselines, you have 4 or 5 camera guys on either side. Socially, on social media, the game has grown a ton. You'll see clips. We've seen a clip just recently out of Edmonton go super viral. It was in that dunk contest.
Oh, yeah.
Guy throws it off the roof. It banks around a couple times. That was incredible. It's better than a lot of what we've seen at pro level dunk contests lately done at the high school level. And that doesn't hurt the game at all, right? When you market it like that, and so much goes into that, into just the photography of it and the videography of it, and it happens down on the court.
No, I guess I'll just correct your count. I guess it looks like there's 6 on each baseline now, or at least maybe 5 on one baseline. One of our crew members is there with the professional camera. I lost them for a bit because they were just among all the other content creators. So great to see that element to the game. It's what gets kids interested. A lot of guys are following high school basketball, know the players at a younger age because they see some of these content creators showcasing the programs.
Good turnout today as well. You don't get as good of a look at it from the broadcast angle, but the stands below us look to be pretty full today, which is obviously always good to see.
That capacity about 4,000 in here, and not quite touching that one, but yeah, the section in front of us on the near side, nearly full all in front of us, and it's been loud. Even though it's not, technically full, it's a loud building.
That's Falassi up top. Here's Broder, open 3. No. And McGlisco will take it up court for the Lords. McGlisco up top. Dhaliwal thought about it. Going to go for the mid-range shot instead over top of Elijah Thomas.
Yeah, I thought he should have maybe taken the first one, but able to stay composed, and over the smaller Thomas still gets a good look from the mid-range.
Thomas working from the logo. Kasprick looked like he was going to screen. Thomas calls it off. Thomas goes to the left. Up to Mbachu. 3 doesn't go. Dhaliwal chases down the rebound. Down to a 20-point game in transition off the glass. There was some pressure from Mbachu there, but it didn't bother Okulai, who makes the 2. We're down to an 18-point game here. Remember, at the start of the half, it was 27. Rams at 66, Lords at 48 have cut into the deficit by 9. I mean, hey, we got a minute 13 left in the third quarter, 18-point game now with the 3-ball shot the way it was. You got players like, I mean, you never know.
Yeah, well, again, and I mentioned it coming out of the half. Like, you can't go in saying, okay, we need to drop the play, the 25-point play. It doesn't come all at once, and you're also not going to get it all back in one quarter. You've got to be just realistic. Turn the game into little chunks. Hey, we're going to call a timeout in a couple minutes. Can we push for that? Do we have the energy just to get to the 2-minute mark? I'm going to call a timeout. Then we'll get the quarter break. So, yeah, you look at this, 18 points. Maybe they can get, a stop and a score here. Maybe another stop, and then you're into the final corner down 16 or maybe 15. Hey, that's still tough. Don't get me wrong. It's a very good St. FX team, but you just got to keep putting it down into bite-sized chunks, sustainably chip away. And again, at the high school level, I mean, no lead is safe, even against a really, really good team like St. FX. And like we keep harping on, the ability of the 3-point shot to fall for Strathcona. We even saw actually early in the second half, they hit a bunch of threes. Now, St. FX was scoring as well, so it didn't amount to a huge battle back in the score. But, can you imagine they have one of those quick, 2 or 3 or 4 3-point runs here, along with a couple of stops, could see themselves getting back in. But a little bit of a smaller lineup here for St. FX.
Yeah, Lords just looking down at the court. Pretty noticeable size advantage right now. Offensive rebounds were an issue earlier in this half. Maybe a chance for the Lords to use some size. They force a turnover here. Sprunk. McGlisco up top, open 3. Melnichuk, it's in.
Again, that's perfect. Drive the ball, get a piece of the paint, come to a jump stop, fill behind. You get a wide open 3 for one of the best shooters on Strathcona. That is really, really good basketball, and they need to get back to that. That's what they didn't do in the first half. That's what they've done this quarter, and now they found themselves back competitive. Now that's okay. That's a foul to give. So I don't mind that at all, especially with the clock. Not resetting to 14, not too bad here. So I would say, again, with one more to play with, if you're beat off the dribble versus Strathcona, use one of those quick fouls. Maybe if you want to go for a hard seal, go for it.
Feels like a swing point of the game here, late. Can anyone steal another bucket? Elijah Thomas, the Rams leader, steps back into a 3. Now to a scoop shot with the left hand. Rebounded, though, by the Rams. Put up again, fight for it. McGlisco comes away with it for the Lords. 10 seconds on the game clock. Physical defense and maybe a little too physical. Foul.
And he will be going to the line now. Not a good foul here from St. FX.
That was on Tesfasalasi. Boy, Lords down 15. If they are to make one of these free throws, they will have scored as many points in the third quarter as they did in the whole first half. They had 26 in the first half. Looking for point number 26 in the third quarter alone is McGlisco.
Yeah, and with one more foul to give, like I was talking about, if Strathcona's smart with this, they're not really going to give St. FX much of a chance. If they dribble the ball up, maybe two or three bounces, foul them, there'll be 4 or 5 seconds left, then they'll have to try to inbound it and make something happen in even less time. See if they can use that last foul smartly.
McGlisco missed the first, but true on the second. And as I mentioned, 26 points in the first half, 26 more points in the third quarter alone.
A little bit of a defensive sub here in case they do pick up a foul or just want a little bit more speed.
Elijah Thomas tried to swing it out to Lucas Thomas, but it went off the head of McGlisco. 3.3 seconds left for the Rams to get a shot up.
So we'll see there on that little elevator play a couple of times already and got good looks for it. They're doing it again.
Thomas up top. Quick pass, a shot. Bouncing everywhere, won't go. But boy, oh boy, a 27-point lead coming into the half for the Rams. Now cut nearly in half. Just a 14-point lead. It's 66-52 with just 1 quarter left to play.
Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
Welcome back to the Edmonton Expo Centre. 66-52. The Rams only scoring 13 points in the third quarter to 26 from the Lords. Connor Toffin joined by Eric Fawcett. We got a game here. Here's Dallowal on the wing, long pass across. Lapierre up top, back to Dallowal again. He was a big part of that effort in the third quarter. Shot by Spronk, won't go.
And you can see the energy level's been cranked up. I think once St. FX got spooked by that good third quarter from Strathcona, they came out defensively. They're really flying around, and Strathcona was looking to get a shot for Dollywall, couldn't do it.
Play goes to the floor, jump ball, possession to the Rams.
It's a big break for Strathcona. It's for St. FX to get their possession, but with only 6 seconds on the shot clock.
Thomas will inbound. Long pass up top to Arciaga. Will give it up to Brodeur. Puts up a bit of a prayer. Doesn't hit the rim. Shot clock violation. Not the worst thing maybe for the Rams. Up by 14. At least you use all 24.
That's it, and you get to set your defense. That's big too. Don't want to give up the opportunity for anything easy in transition. This is the starters back in the game here for St. FX, which also speaks to the seriousness. They wanted to come out in this corner. They're not messing around. All starters out there. And the thing about these starters is defensively, they are just monsters. That starts with Brodeur leaving his feet on the back tap. That's incredible.
McGlisco, Brodeur in defense again. Once again, McGlisco down low, maybe about a foot at least on Brodeur. At least that's what it looks like. And Brodeur does a good job just running McGlisco out of room. Inbound goes to Lapierre. Not a lot of time. Pick. Lapierre tried to get it to Dhaliwal. It's intercepted by Eli Johnson. Brodeur. A little bit of pressure brought by Okolite. So they'll give it right to Elijah Thomas. To the corner. Eli Johnson, some room on the baseline. Cut off by Dhaliwal. Johnson with the shot, and Dhaliwal picks up the rebound. If there was one bad thing in the third quarter for the Lords, it feels like it might have been defensive rebounding. They can clean that up. Imagine what this fourth quarter could bring for Strathcona. Sprunk. Crossover. Well defended by Johnson. Lapierre. Quick cut along the baseline. And McGlisco will once again go to the free throw line.
McGlisco's just in the middle of everything. The ball just finds him. And that's something about good players. I think you talked earlier about Elijah Thomas, how you're like, oh, he just creates turnovers at these broken plays in half court, and suddenly he's getting the ball. And McGlisco's kind of the same thing. Just whether it's as a cutter, creating for himself, rebounding, it just every one of these big plays, the ball seems to end in his hands, and you've seen him get to the free throw line. Something big when coming back in the game, putting points on the board. You mentioned it earlier with the shot, I was going to say with the time stopped, and then the scoreboard literally turned off for a moment. And we might have a little bit of a delay here as the scoreboard is flicking on and off.
We'll mention the good news is they do keep everything on paper here, so if you ever did have to reset it,
our scoreboard remains completely accurate, yes.
Ours is perfect.
But the in-house and perhaps more importantly, the shot clock and game clock is flickering in and out. So anyways, I was going to mention it's important to be able to score points with the clock stopped. I don't think you want the clock off. And now McGlisco, who's had his couple of misses at the free throw line, now he is getting potentially iced here. I mean, this is it's a big opportunity to put points on the board. Missed the first.
Do want to take a moment as well to thank the Sport, Physical Activity and Recreation branch of the Ministry of Tourism and Sport with the Government of Alberta, who is a funding provider to the SSA. The funds received from this area of the government are put towards enhancing the quality of life for Albertans. So teams walk to the bench, of course, right on time. The clock stays. It took an extra second as well, just to make sure. But like you mentioned, it's more so the shot clock than the game clock. You can go to pen and paper for the score. A little tough to keep track later, especially if it gets close late. See if McGlisco can keep his composure. He does on the first. Down to 13. When it was 53-26 at halftime, I don't think the people at home were expecting a potential close finish. Well, the Lords still need to go on a run, but it is possible now. McGlisco misses the second. It'll stay a 13-point game. Elijah Thomas. Give to Lucas Thomas. And the carry.
Yeah, double dribble there. Didn't quite see it, but it was on a spin with his back to us, but official was right on that one. And another opportunity for Strathcona to maybe even cut this one to 10.
Lapierre. Dhaliwal. Looked like he wanted to shoot. He'll drive instead. Decisive. Won't go. Battle for the rebound. Dhaliwal gets it. Up top. Lapierre over to Sprunk. Sprunk the three. It's in.
Huge shot, and St. FX did so well to run Dhaliwal off the line on the first kick out. But again, on these broken plays, just somehow finds one of the best shooters.
Turnover. Melnichuk to the hoop. It's in. Single digits. 8-point game.
Great contest by Lucas Thomas, but just what a finish. There is new life for the Strathcona team.
There is as much noise in this gym right now as there's been all night. On the other side, the Rams side has almost gone totally quiet.
See McGlisco there just got a little too amped up, maybe really aggressively went for a steal and committed a foul. Don't need to see that from him. Just keep doing what you're doing. If you're a Strathcona Lord, no need to go outside of what you're doing. Let those guards go after steals. Certainly don't want McGlisco out here with any kind of foul trouble, but big possession here if St. FX can stop the run.
Thomas driving, tough shot, won't go, rebound Dollywall. 8-point game and the Lords have the ball. Lapierre over to Dollywall. Lapierre's done a great job in this second half as well, by the way. That one's poked away. Lucas Thomas, a huge defensive play. Thomas spins, finds a shot, won't go, but they'll say he was fouled.
The changes of direction from Lucas Thomas are so sudden, so quick, and so tough to keep your feet in front of him as a defender in transition.
Looked like maybe just a bit of contact on the wrist. Thomas to the free throw line. First one won't go.
A lot of Strathcona friends and family, fans here. They were a little quiet for much of the game, and now they're really getting cranked up, and nothing gets fans going like a missed free throw.
Jump ball, if memory serves me right.
No, I think the possession arrow is going to Strathcona.
They've called it for the Rams for the moment. Last one, remember, you made the point about...
I made the point because there was only 6 seconds on the... I was mentioning, I mean, when you get a possession, you were hoping to have a full shot clock. Yeah, okay. There he goes.
They've gotten it right. Always good that they talk it over.
That's
it.
Get the
call right.
Yeah, I should know too, 3-man crew here, just like, the professional game. So, yeah, I mean, that's huge. I mentioned before, St. FX got the possession arrow, but didn't get much of a possession because they only had 6 seconds. So it's almost like not their fault, but they kind of got robbed of a possession arrow.
Poked away, it's Rams ball.
Man, that was a big opportunity for Strathcona to make something happen.
2 straight stops now for the Rams as well. 2 turnovers in a row.
Notably moving this into the front court, which means that St. FX will only have 14 on the shot clock as opposed to a full 24.
Mbachu, tough layup, short, rebounded, fight for it. Oh, it does end up in the hands of a Ram. Eli Johnson just stuck with it. Elijah Thomas, tough layup, too strong, and it's off a Ram and out of bounds.
Those are not ones that Elijah Thomas misses very often. That's where he's so good with his footwork in the mid post and just a little bit strong. You wonder if he's just gripping it a little tight right now. And wouldn't a 3 from Strathcona here just take the roof off this place.
Dollywall, he could do it. Melnichuk. Spronk, hit a big one just minutes ago. Melnichuk again. Drops off a defender and the shot's short. Crowd was ready to erupt off of that one. Arciaga, he'll take it. Hounded by the Lords defense. Mbachu fouled. And no doubt about that one.
Foul's going on Lords number 3, Caleb Lapierre. First personal foul.
Looks like the feet might have just got tangled more than anything. Free throw shooting will be so important for the rest of this game. All day long there has been some struggles from the free throw line. Mbachu looking to go 2 for 2. He'll do just that. Back to a double-digit lead for the Rams.
Huge free throws there. I mean, we've seen all night, both this game and the women's final. Not many players are going 2 for 2 at the line in this difficult setting, and it's a big moment to stretch it to double digits again. Great composure.
Now the Rams crowd getting a little more into it as well. Lapierre will leave it for Melnichuk. Here's a 3. No. Rebound. A wrestling match, another jump ball this time. It'll go to the Rams.
So that was incredible. Everyone on St. FX was switching. So there was a small on a big. And in order to try to get back out to the shooter, Clyde Mbachu just pushed Eli Johnson and gave him an extra boost, which allowed him to close out to the three-point shooter and force a miss. So I just love that kind of teamwork and that kind of effort there from St. FX.
Elijah Thomas, turnaround. He is almost trapped right now. Now gives it up to Arciaga. Arciaga has it poked away, recollects his dribble, shoots, no. Rebound by Johnson. Johnson puts it up, no. Another rebound for the Rams, another miss. Johnson, another rebound again, and he's fouled.
That's just the thing about switching at this level. The shot goes up, and it's not about like the first shot advantage. It's about the kind of cross matching. So there, the much smaller LaPierre was trying to box out Elijah Johnson, and then people are trying to scramble and help him out. And that's when you start to see all these offensive rebounds one after another. And as loud as the building has, really gotten in the last couple of quarters, are these free throws, especially now on this end for St. FX, we're next to all the Strathcona friends and family.
Second free throw from Johnson is no good, and maybe more importantly for the Lords, McGlisco with the defensive rebound. McGlisco down low, man open, easy two for Ukulai.
Yeah, and that's the first time we've seen a little bit of that pressure from St. FX really broken with a wide open layup. That does not happen often, but really good job by Strathcona. And
oh, what a take by Mbachu with the left, back to 10. Sprunk, it was poked away, or maybe just lost the dribble. A bit of panic there as LaPierre couldn't go back court. We got a call, charging. LaPierre tried to save the play, couldn't. Gave it up to the Rams leader, but hustled back and drew a charge.
Yeah, those are always tough calls there in transition, Euro step from the offensive player. I'll trust the ref on that one who got a good look at it, but that's all about a defender can do in that situation with, backpedaling against offensive players, try to anticipate that first step and putting it in the hands of the officials. And big one there for Strathcona.
Sprunk up top, LaPierre for three, no. Fight for the rebound is won by Arciaga. A little bit of half-court pressure brought here by the Lords. Arciaga trying to buy some space, gives it to Lucas Thomas. Now Elijah down to the corner. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication. Lucas Thomas from three, no. Rebound by Sprunk. 3.5 minutes left to go, 10-point game. Lords have fought back, but is it too little, too late? LaPierre. Melnichuk drives, goes up for the two, no! Rebound by Arciaga. Lucas Thomas, Rams can take their time here, out of bounds. Looked like the sideline might have crept up on Mbachu. And a timeout called by Strathcona.
It's a big opportunity here for Strathcona. I was mentioning at the half, at the end of the third quarter, it's like, okay, you're not getting it all back at once. You're not getting it all back with one shot. You just got to keep chipping away. Well, now the clock is definitely going to start playing an issue here. Strathcona's got to make something happen quickly. They've got to get back to those dribble penetration, kick out to open catch and shoot. Get St. FX into rotation. See if you can find an empty three-point shooter. That's what they need right now, and you can see right now St. FX, these guards that are so good defensively, just absolutely dogging the ball, making everything so difficult. This is where St. FX wins games, is their backcourt defense in these late moments. And what Strathcona can do, I mean, it's a tough challenge, but we've seen them punch back. This is going to be their last chance, I think, here. Next couple of possessions, need to make something happen.
St. FX having a great season, 22-1. I'm sure in that Strathcona locker room before the game, you can look at the 22, but they got that one circled. It is possible. Favorites coming into today's game, the Lords 23-8. However, as we mentioned earlier, 33% from the three-point line. They can get hot. A 10-point lead like this could evaporate quickly.
Yeah, probably a bit of Horns flare here. Yep.
Sprunk, Dollywall from the corner. It's good!
They ran this Horns flare looking for Dollywall. It wasn't cleanly executed, and then the broken play finds him in the corner. Off balance, fading a little bit. He still hits it. He's an incredible shooter, just like I mentioned in the pregame. He always shoots the ball well when I watch him.
Elijah Thomas. Turnaround. Nowhere to go. Puts it up with the right and in. Soft touch from Elijah Thomas.
All these St. FX guards, they're under control. They drive and they get to jump stops and make good decisions. And right in the teeth of the defense here.
Dollawall for three, no! The rebound by McGlisco puts it up and in. Back to 7, and we got a player down here.
Oh no.
That is Eli Johnson for the Rams.
There was a lot of bodies really close to each other as everyone came down, and we're also seeing the tightening of the shoe, which is I'm gonna say mixed in with everyone jumping for a rebound, mixed in with the quick tightening of a shoe is probably a little bit of an ankle situation. So we'll hope he's okay. He's played such an incredible game.
Eli Johnson, 6'7" forward, grade 12 for the Rams. He is able to hobble off, and they're tough to play through those, especially with just 2:16 left to go.
Well, and
sometimes those just get worse too.
Well, and the work he does on the offensive glass, I mean, he's jumping on every possession. He's coming down to traffic every possession, and it's been a huge part about what's kind of maintained the lead, even with Strathcona pushing.
Elijah Thomas, a little bit of a delay, now gets trapped into the corner. That's Vasilasi, it's taken away. Dollywall tries to save it, it ends up in the hands of a Ram. Quick dish down low towards the baseline. McGlisco defending, but it's in. Mbachu.
Mbachu's had a huge fourth quarter. Kind of winning plays that win championships.
Melnichuk. Down low, McGlisco. McGlisco finds an opening, can't put it in. Rebound, second time, knocked away by the Rams. Dollawall comes away with it. Lapierre, shot clock reset. Dollawall, he's hot right now. Steps into one, it's in.
What composure, used the flyby. Ball fake, still good contest, but when you're a shot maker like that.
The last time it was this close, it was early in the first quarter. It's late in the fourth, under 70 seconds to play, a 6-point game. Elijah Thomas, too strong, rebounded by Mbachu. Is that another championship play? And we got a whistle.
Yeah, interesting decision there from Strathcona. That's sending a really good free throw shooter to the line in bonus. I don't know if something was missed there. Yeah, you maybe try to force out of his hands and start fouling when you're down 6 with a minute left, but whatever the case may be, that was, a very obvious, intentional foul to go and get a guy to the line. I would have tried to make him move it, maybe foul someone else. This is one of the most composed guards in Alberta here, getting his opportunity to push the lead.
Talked earlier, the Rams had a few possessions in this fourth quarter where they didn't make a shot, but they used up almost the whole 24. Boy, could the Lords use some of those seconds right now, down by 8. Lapierre. He'll take it himself. To the hoop. Had a look. He gets fouled. Lapierre's going to go to the line for 2. Once again, this Lords team battle-tested.
Yeah, fearless take here. Comes off the pick. Gets to his right hand. Big double gap created by Strathcona.
Lords have played 17 games against teams ranked in the provincial top 15. They were 9-8. They had the hardest schedule of everybody. A miss at the free throw line here for Lapierre. We'll try to bring it back down to 7. If he misses, this rebound is going to be so important.
And it's a smaller lineup here for St. FX.
It's good.
With Eli Johnson coming out, so mentioned earlier, there isn't the kind of, we haven't seen the kind of full court trapping from Strathcona. Now they're going to probably have to do something. I mean, we already saw the intentional foul on last possession, so clearly they're getting into that mode, which is, better to do it too early than too late, in my opinion. So wouldn't have been the guy who would have fouled, but didn't mind the strategy. Now you got to go for something quick, get that ball out of Elijah Thomas's hands. Try to create a steal, maybe send someone else to the line. We have seen a lot of guys missing free throws.
Lucas Thomas, lots of pressure from Dollawall. Double sent at Elijah. Elijah gets it back at half court. Goes with the right. Pass taken. Maybe more importantly than anything, Tasfalassi just able to keep possession. Shot, rebounded off McGlisco or Tasfalassi. They'll say it was off the Rams. That killed a lot of time.
Pretty good job there by St. FX to handle the pressure. Never really felt like they were going to turn it over. Never really gave even a chance for Strathcona to foul. And I think if you're St. FX, you're just happy you used 24 seconds, got the ball on the rim, and now you get to set up your defense full court. Still really good possession from St. FX, even though they didn't score.
Used about half the remaining clock. You'd probably much rather that even than a three-pointer.
Oh, yeah.
Quickly, right? You'll have to score at the end of it as well, but it's those kind of smarts that can get a trophy back to your school, right?
Oh, that's it, and that's what separates, really good teams from great teams, is how do you do the little things, especially at the high school level. And when you see that there's players who won provincials last year and won city finals last year, and Elijah Thomas, Brad Farish on the Team Alberta team that did so well this past summer. It's stuff like that. Can you make a 50-second clock into a 24.8-second clock and then get your defense set? That's, those are winning plays, and that could, as much as it's not the most flashy thing, like that could be the deciding play of the last couple of minutes, burning a great possession like that. So I love to see that kind of intelligence there from the players, really rewarded.
Timeout for the Lords, so they will get to advance the ball.
Was their last timeout? I mean, I mentioned prior that I really liked the usage of timeouts by Dane Owen. I'm going to say the fact that they got back into this game supports that his early usage of timeouts. I know, sure. Would he like to be able to advance the ball one more time? Yes, but the fact that they got back into the game was because of those earlier timeouts. So smart usage from coach, in my opinion.
Sprunk gets it. Rams send the double and a foul. Rams had foul to give.
Yeah, foul to give, so no real problem there.
Wasted
I mean, also
3 seconds.
I mean, I would also argue if you're St. FX and you were to send someone to the line, I mean, Strathcona needs probably quick threes to get back into this one. Sending someone to the line to shoot a couple wouldn't be too bad. And now Strathcona's even just struggling to get the ball in.
Dallawall steps back into a three. No. Rebound by Mbachu. He's fouled. Boy, that one looked like it might have had eyes there from Dallawall. This arena would have erupted.
With some of the shots he made, I mean, that out of his hand, I thought that had a chance, and when you've got the height he does, and you can see just how he didn't rush through his release. And I know it wasn't the cleanest look, but I don't mind that from Strathcona. You got your best three-point shooter to get a shot off that wasn't blocked. I take it. Try out the chances. Really, really good fight from Strathcona to make this one a game.
Melnichuk from the free throw line missed. I believe we had a lane violation there. Possession will stay with the Lords regardless. 13.4 seconds left. Seen crazier things happen before, but 8-point game. It would need to be threes and fouls and quickly and half-court shots. At this point, Rams just need to stay disciplined. We'll reset the clock to 13.9. Lapierre will bring it up for the Lords. Gives it up to Sprunk. Sprunk down to the ground. Lapierre, they're running out of time. Pass goes out of bounds. It'll be Rams' ball.
Just such a good pushback from Strathcona. I mean, this one could have gotten ugly early. They could have given up, but the play of St. FX, the work of their guards defensively, their front court's ability to dominate the glass. This is what St. FX has now done for 3 years. They win. They win with culture. They win with their depth. They win with their identity, and we saw why tonight.
The Rams are Division I champions. Off the backs of a huge first half. They were leading 53-26. Only 24 points here in the second half, but like I said earlier, 2 points is 2 points, a bucket's a bucket, and they did enough in that first half. The lead was just insurmountable. Almost shocking it even got this close. Got as close as 6 in the fourth quarter. 2 possessions, you think about a 3 one way or the other. And, obviously a great second half for the Lords, Eric, but when it got really tight, the Rams could have collapsed with all the momentum against them. And in the end, it was the plays by Mbachu and Eli Johnson who unfortunately couldn't finish the game. There was a lot of offensive rebounds by Kasprick in the third quarter as well. Arciaga facilitated pretty well. Fasalassi was good. Of course, Brodeur hitting some big threes, and then the Thomas brothers as good as always. When they needed plays, they got them.
Yeah, and that's just it. And much like I said that when Strathcona got behind, it didn't seem like they were necessarily playing bad. It also seemed like even when Strathcona was coming back, it didn't look like St. FX was losing their cool. They never lost their composure. And then you did see it in the final minutes where they didn't think, oh man, we might be losing a hefty lead. We might be blowing this. They were still composed and really took control. And that's some of the work of their veteran guards, but also some of the young guys really contributed. Really dominant defensively, and that was the other thing where ultimately when Strathcona really, really needed something offensively, the St. FX guards shut it down with their on-ball defense, their ability to get through screens, their ability to be disruptive. So that's what they do. That's what Brad Farish teaches in his guards, develops in his guards, and we really saw that with the big group of starting guards, 3 guards that start, as well as the guys that came off the bench who just kept up that same level of pressure.
This is a bit of a younger Strathcona team as well. Wouldn't be a surprise at all to see them back right here. Lots to be proud of today. Ranked number 7 in the province. I mean, we've been talking all game about how good FX is and how the Lords are battle tested, but maybe lost in the mix is just how good of a season the Lords have had. Still above 500 against provincial top 15 teams. This is a really good program out of Strathcona.
No, and I saw them earlier in the fall, and they, weren't great yet. And I was asking some other coaches, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it might be a little bit of a down year. It's the young guys; they'll be competitive because they always are. But they're young, and I mean now that we're within striking distance of a city championship against a team that was the heavy favorite. So yeah, obviously these players in this moment won't be much consolation, but for us looking at it from the outside, we're like that's an effort they have to be extremely happy with.
The silver medals have been given out. McGlisco, as we talked about him all throughout, he played a great game as well. Seemed to be in the middle of everything. Dollywall with some big shots. Lapierre really came on late as well. Didn't really mention his name too much in the first half when it was all Rams. And then when Lapierre was running the offense efficiently in the second half, that was really when the Lords started to forge their comeback attempt. But in the end, it is the St. FX Rams. Not quite a perfect season. 1 loss on the record, but a gold medal means they don't care. As long as that one isn't in the championship, right?
Yeah, I believe that that loss was at a tournament out of province. So, for functionally speaking,
yeah,
you're in Alberta, so I maybe out of province. It was definitely at a tournament though. But yeah, to go through league the way they did, roll through that, were really impressive in their own tournament that they host early in the season, and a really impressive run here, and got to this point without being pushed too hard, and then absorbed a pretty good punch here from Strathcona in the second half. But it was their work early that sealed it for them. Was allowed to withstand such a big run, and that's really impressive. And now they will look towards provincials, where they are the number 1 ranked team, and we'll look to add some more hardware, add another banner to the collection, to a team that doesn't look like it's really going anywhere. We mentioned that they've got some very, very good seniors. That'll be gone, but really, really good contributions from some of their young players today, and guys that are in 10th grade playing at the highest level in the city. Really impressive.
And obviously, if you're the Rams, if you're Brad Farish, you want to win. You want to dominate every single day, but maybe not the worst thing that they got pushed here into what is bound to be an incredibly competitive provincials coming up in a couple weeks.
You're even seeing the way that, in the second quarter when everything was really going right for Santa Fe, they went to the 3-2 zone. And, I thought that was a little bit of hey, we might win this game easily, but, we might need this zone here in Provincial. So seeing that a little bit. Obviously, the game ended up being tight, and it certainly wasn't just time for them to get reps. But you can see that they're also thinking towards what they might need to win a provincial title and at it as well, as you see the captains getting the banner, getting the trophy.
Broder, Thomas, and Johnson, the 3 grade 12 captains, will take the banner back to St. Francis Xavier. 2026 Metro Athletics Division I champions. What a game, what a team. The Rams win it 77-69 for Connor Toffin, Eric Fawcett, and the whole IC Live crew. It's been a pleasure to broadcast these last 2 Division I games. Rams are champions.